This is the brand new Woodford Lovell C550, their first inset stove. It's relatively simple from the outside. It feels like it shouldn't be sort of, super expensive. It feels, fairly, the door here is made out of folded over steel. So those sort of where the metal is folded over, it isn't beautifully finished in those areas.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah.
So they've got a similar thing on the frame as well, in that it's folded over. So that really, doesn't mean that it's badly designed or not going to work brilliantly well. I suppose I'm just thinking the finishing isn't sort of really high end. I like that. It's got a often when you like these sorts of modern appliances, you need to leave the door on a latch to sort of, get it to draw up and get up to temperature. And very occasionally you see handles where they've got a latch setting, so it can't just sort of swing open of its own accord.
I like that.
Yeah, it just sort of, you latch it in and it's sort of half open, half closed, and then you can lock it. That's nicely thought out.
Yeah, I like that.
We've got, I'm assuming that there will be a tool that latches on to here, and that's like a riddling grate of some sort, and these will be air vents there, side to side. Okay. What's all that? Okay. So those are relatively simple little air vents left to right. We've got a huge ash pan with, I imagine, some sort of tool.
It looks like a little stove. Like if you took it out of the inset thing, it would be like a stove by itself. Do you know what I mean? It's got like little legs and.
Well, often insets are designed like that. There's sort of a stove within a stove.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd not noticed it before.
All the heat convects round an outer box, so you get it heating up, and you get this convection current. That's how they get their heat out. The tool looks a little bit like these handles in that it's got a little round hole in it. I'm assuming it does, the ash pan fine, but it doesn't.
It doesn't hook. Those little ends don't hook in.
Oh, okay. Yes, it does. Oh, I'm glad somebody's on the board today. Good, that is good, because I think those things are going to get ferociously hot, and you're going to need to be able to. You might even. You could do that. It's not beautifully finished, but I think.
Yeah, you'd be better off with a glove, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but it doesn't appear it comes with a glove.
Oh, but if you needed one.
Sorry? Oh, well, yes, yeah, of course. Even the stoves that do come with gloves, obviously they're not recommended. You want a tortoise fireproof glove, because that's the best one, obviously. And I think, clearly you'd want that with this. Yeah, a tortoise one, obviously. But, yeah, I think, as you say, you're going to want a glove. Yeah. This feels fluted, so I'm imagining that this doesn't get as hot.
Right.
Which will be nice. That's gone.
You're enjoying playing with that.
Yeah, I quite like the feel of it. I like the clunk. I just don't like that sudden jolt.
Right.
Oh, it's just that I'm not opening the handle correctly. You open it up, then there's no problem. Oh, amateurs. Okay, so in here Oh, this feels like a direct air kit. Woodford are really, really good for this in that they put direct air on everything. Every single one of their stoves that I've looked at has had direct air, and this one is no different. So on the back of this stove, there's some bolts as well, so you can bolt it to the back of the appliance, and then you can feed air directly from outside. If this is on an outside wall, then you can just feed air straight through, which is fantastic, particularly for new builds where you've got to have an air vent no matter what. Somebody is calling me. That's... You get these things, and I haven't read the instructions yet because I've only just opened it, but I'm...
Are they to sit the stove on?
They could be. They feel like sort of ceramic board. So it's... I'm gonna have to find that out. We'll forget about that for now. We do have instructions, and it's got an A rating as far as... Oh look, they've changed it. They were always EU.
They were.
It's got a proper riddling grey, so that's good. It's got oh, that's quite... It's got these sort of big steel panels which appear to me to be removable. Now, I haven't asked them or read this in the instructions. I've literally just looked at them and thought, those panels are there for coal use. So if you were burning coal on this, you want those sort of, it to sort of shovel coal into the middle. But if you were burning just wood, I'm thinking that you would take these panels out, because then you'd maximise your space for wood. We've got tertiary air, vermiculite brick lining, so it's everything else seems very, very standard. It's all made out of steel, including the door. Often doors are made of cast iron, but this is all steel. Does make getting the glass out a little more awkward, because you have to sort of disassemble the door in order to remove the glass. But there are lots, to be fair, lots of inset stoves are designed like that. I don't know why. I don't know why there's a difference, but there must be a reason for it. It must just make the engineering easier or help it to give heat out. I'm not sure. Maybe I should ask. But what do you think of the look?
Yeah, I mean, all inset stoves look really very similar, don't they?
They do.
But it's nice. It's got sort of a bigger piece of glass. Like, you know, I think that would look quite nice when there's a fire lit in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's a sort of, it's a really nice sort of, almost sort of flat screen TV.
Yeah, I sort of imagine it would just look quite nice.
Yeah, because lots of them, well, the other ones we've done have been portrait sort of style, and that's meant that I've had to get a whole nother piece of slate.
Yeah, we've got the other one behind
so I'm, you know, obviously congratulate me on all of my hard DIY effort.
There was no swearing involved at all.
Yes. I was relatively, no, I was relatively grumpy. Yeah, that's true. I've been exposed now. But we've
How
done
many
it.
kilowatt is it?
It's rated at 6.9, which,
Interesting.
judging by the look of it, means that it's probably going to run at somewhere between 6 and 8 kilowatts generally.
Yeah.
It does look like quite a big
Yeah.
beastie. But of course, what you have to bear in mind with inset stoves is when they're tested, they are tested in the middle of a room. So they're tested in like every other stove. And of course, you stuff it into an opening and you fill it round with insulation. And, you know, if it's installed well, most of the heat's coming forward. But some of it is stuck in the opening. And very often if you put it into a masonry opening, all the masonry gets hot, and it's not that you lose the heat, it's just that it takes much longer. It's sort of, you create this massive pile of what do they call it, thermal mass, where you've just heated up all this masonry and it stays hot for hours and hours and hours and slowly bleeds into the room. So you don't lose it, it's just that you perhaps don't get the full 8 kilowatts or whatever when you're burning away. It slowly comes out. Thank you very much for watching. I'm excited to try out our first big inset stove.